The New York Knicks are being forced into an impossible decision to make as free agency hits its ending point, as there has been a lot of discussion surrounding what the Knicks are going to do with that final roster spot, with multiple names linked to the New York Knicks with differing fits for this team, all of whom would have their own specific benefit and drawback to the Knicks signing him, and we're going to break it all down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here. We're going to jump right into things as always. Guys, if you're part of that percentage that's not subscribed to Knicks Digest, if you're part of that 62%, make sure to subscribe for daily New York Knicks updates. Usually my lighting is better. Usually I'm not holding this mic, but we're on the road right now. We're up in Montreal for the Osheaga Festival. I am really loving life right now, guys. But let's jump right into the video. There's a lot to go over because Leon Rose has an impossible decision to make. As there's been a lot of discussion surrounding what the New York Knicks will be doing with that final roster spot that they have. Technically, the Knicks have 2 roster spots, but they can only really sign 1 veterans minimum player because where things stand right now for the Knicks, who have 12 players on the roster, they can't afford to sign 15 players. They can afford to sign 14, 1 on a veterans minimum deal and 1 on a contract that will be a rookie deal. And we do have a video coming out on that tomorrow that you do want to stay tuned for. Dude, I love this lighting of myself right now. Like, I usually don't like just instantly break the fourth wall, but I love this light. I feel like I'm a good-looking guy right now. Why am I posting this on YouTube? You know what? We're just going to keep going. Look, when it comes down to it for the Knicks, that definitely lost me views. When it comes down to it for the Knicks, here's the deal. This is a team that desperately does need another player for their bench unit. Right now, they have an interesting squad. They have a good team. Like, let's be real. The Knicks are great right now. They have an awesome starting 5. I'm imagining Mitchell Robinson does end up netting that starting spot, meaning the starting 5 will be Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Karl-Anthony Towns, and Mitchell Robinson. Off the bench, we'll get Josh Hart, Deuce McBride, Jordan Clarkson, Gershon Yabusele, and 1 man to be signed later. And Ian Begley jumped in and discussed who that would be, as he mentioned that Ben Simmons is certainly a candidate for the Knicks' final roster spot. As of earlier this week, New York continued to show strong interest in signing Ben Simmons on a deal, on a minimum deal, as they kind of await, as multiple teams do await his decision. He's garnered interest from several teams around the league. Now, Simmons is such an interesting case when it comes to players because not that long ago, Ben Simmons was an all-star. Like, it wasn't that long ago when he was, but since then, things have really taken a hit in the wrong way possible for Ben. The man has just effectively fallen out of any good situation possible. He was with Philadelphia. There was a back injury that has not exactly ever been said if it's fully cleared or something. And on top of that, what we also saw with Simmons was just a very, very, very timid guy in a lot of the wrong ways. I mean, again, the best way to put it is when he had that open layup where Trae Young was 5 feet away from him and he passed up to Tobias Harris, who missed the shot, and then the Hawks directly went on a run right after that in Game 7 of a game that, you know, the Sixers lost. Simmons then got traded to the Brooklyn Nets as part of that James Harden deal, didn't really do much with the Nets, and now with the Clippers, or when he was with the Clippers for the second half of the year, he finally got to LA where he always wanted to be, and again, there wasn't much going on the Ben Simmons front, if we're being honest. I mean, on the season, Ben put up 5 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 5.5 assists. He's still a great on-ball defender, and I mean, his defensive box plus minus shows it. He's got a 1.8 box plus minus, a positive box plus minus still, and he shoots 52% from the field when he takes his shots. Almost all of them are going to be at the rim, but Simmons is not a bad player. He's really not. There's issues. There's a lot of issues, and to me, the biggest issue isn't even Ben Simmons. To me, if I'm being real, the biggest issue is the idea of Josh Hart, Mitchell Robinson, and Ben Simmons coming off and being on the court at the same time. You have to stagger that. You have to. Josh is not a bad shooter by any means, but he's not a good shooter either. Teams don't respect Josh Hart's 33% from the three-point line. They didn't all season long. They didn't in the playoffs, and it led to the Knicks basically being figured out because you could put a big man on Josh Hart, and he wasn't going to do enough to really drag that big man out of the paint, so Cat would just get double-teamed every time with a big man coming onto him, and a big man doubling is better than having a guard or something double just because you kind of get more compacted. So with Josh, he also was passing up open threes. So you have that. You have Ben Simmons, who does not shoot jump shots. You have Mitchell Robinson, who does not shoot jump shots. And all of a sudden, things get really, really, really kind of stressful for the Knicks if you're going to do that. You're handcuffed into having 2 elite shooters on the court at the same time. And if I'm being honest, I'm not saying the Knicks don't have elite shooters. Jalen Brunson is an elite three-point shooter, but they don't have shooters. They don't. Let's be real for a second. Let's be real about the Knicks. They don't have a quick trigger three-point shooter. Enter Landry Shamet. Landry Shamet is connected to the Knicks, and there's been a lot of discussion surrounding that. Ian Begley also mentioned that the Knicks also have maintained interest in Shamet for that final roster spot, which to me is what they should do personally. I think the Knicks, who they brought in Shamet last year, and he did well. He put up 6 points per game, 1 rebound, and half an assist. He shot 40% from the three, 47% on corner threes, and 46% from the field. Landry Shamet was awesome for the team. He had a very slow start, which is also impacting some of those shooting numbers. He had an atrocious start to his season because he didn't trust his shoulder that he had dislocated, which is totally understandable, but it is what happened. So we do have to take these numbers with a bit of a grain of salt in the fact that his three-point percentage would have been higher had he not had that awful start to the season, and then he was in and out of the rotation for a bit before really cracking into the rotation by the end of the year, which, he totally deserved, if you ask me. I mean, look, when it comes to Simmons, a guy who averaged 1 point per game and 1.5 rebounds and 1 assist for the Clippers in those 5 playoff games that he played, and then you look at Landry Shamet, who averaged 6 points, 2 assists, and 1 rebound, played good defense, and shot 54% from the three-point line in the 4 games in the playoffs, in the final 4 games of the playoffs when he actually got minutes. It seems pretty clear to me who you should sign. I get Simmons makes you more versatile. He gives you another playmaker. He gives you another ball handler. But to me, Landry Shamet is the guy you go with here. Like, let's be, considering everything about this, I don't see why we wouldn't go for Landry Shamet. I'm a big Shamet supporter. I've been a big fan of Landry Shamet for a while. I mean, the man has bounced around a lot, and he's been respected everywhere he's went. He had a bit of a down year with the Washington Wizards, but they are the Wizards, and I do kind of feel bad saying that because actually their GM's a phenomenal general manager. The Wizards are a great front office right now, and no one's really talking about it. But the Knicks do have the option to just bring back Landry Shamet. It's the simple thing to do. He understands the Knicks. He'd fit well in a Mike Brown system where there's pace, space, a lot of three-point shooting. It feels very fluid for Shamet. And yeah, your bench is a little bit small. You have Deuce McBride, Landry Shamet, and Jordan Clarkson. 3 guards. Shamet would effectively be playing a small forward role. It's 6'4", but at the same time, I just think it's a better fit. It makes the subs a lot more fluid, and I feel like the Knicks are treating Jordan Clarkson like he can't be a main ball handler, which he can. So I think if you consider Jordan Clarkson as your main ball handler, all of a sudden things got a lot easier for you. Things will get a lot easier very, very quickly if you just do that. So I actually trust the Knicks to make the right decision here. There also has been some discussion, mainly from fans, we'll be honest, about Amir Coffee. Amir Coffee is someone who I actually, if the Knicks signed him, and I'm biased towards Shamet just because I'm biased towards players who play on the Knicks. I try my best not to be on YouTube, and there's points where I'm going to be. But, when it comes down to it, with Amir Coffee, he's one of those guys who effectively just elite shooter, 6'7". I don't know why he hasn't been signed. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. Coffee would be an excellent fit for the Knicks. He gives him an actual other wing who's wing forward sized, can play the shooting guard, the small forward, the power forward. It's all the same position nowadays, if we're being honest. And when it comes down to it, when you look at Amir Coffee and at his game, it does make sense for the Knicks to go out and get him. There hasn't been much discussion. The Knicks are interested in Coffee, don't get me wrong, but there hasn't been much on him. Last year, and Coffee's still a free agent, mind you, with these numbers, which is ridiculous to me. Last year, he put up 10 points per game, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, shot 47% from the field and 41% from 3, including 46% on the corner 3. He's 28 years old. I don't get why no one signed Amir Coffee. To me, that makes no sense. I think Coffee should have been signed. I think he's better than a minimum contract, in fact, but that's what he's going to be getting in this free agency. Things could change next time around, but in this one, Amir Coffee's getting a minimum deal, and it just seems like such an easy choice for the Knicks to make that and then go out there and just be happy with that decision. That's what I personally would do. What do you guys want to see the Knicks do? If you had to choose between one of those 3, who would you pick? If it's someone completely different, we will talk about Malcolm Brogdon. I'm aware that Malcolm Brogdon's a free agent. We will go over Brogdon in a later video as well. But right now, I just wanted to discuss the Shamet, the Simmons thing, and also throw Amir Coffee into there because to me, that's the signing that makes sense. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day. Go Knicks. I love this lighting right now.